ladies and gentlemen, it's Mac, aka Mr. Burger here, and that young man down there is,
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Iron Oxide.
and that wonderful young man over there is shit. I can't get my point right. Who are you? Introduce yourself, Matt.
Mepar.
All right,
You know who I am. What's up, everybody?
folks. This is a continuation on something I started on Monday at about 6:43 a.m. in the morning Central Standard Time. It started off as reading some political thing that a fat, useless, degenerate named Vito said. I don't even remember what it was. He posted something online, and I got a bit upset, which led me to a tweet or a post from Student of God, which also reminded me of something we did on the Great Iron Oxide Rogues Weekly Gallery, Rose Gallery Weekly. Yeah, Gallery Weekly.
That's right.
About a week or two ago. Was it a week or two?
It was just last Friday, so about a week ago. A week ago tomorrow.
About a week ago. Anyway, we got to talking about the current state of Comicsgate, and I brought up a particular issue where a gentleman named EVS, Ethan Van Sciver, platforms people who, in my opinion, seem to have a diametrically opposed view than his politically. Those two people being Vito and Dick Masterson. Vito and Dick Masterson are famous liberal, progressive, degenerate scumbags. Both of them have a huge problem with Donald Trump. Both of them have a huge problem with America First. Both of them have a huge problem with Christians or anyone who has faith in anything, really. I've heard at least Vito is consistent because he's taking a shit on not only Christians, Muslims, Jews. He hates all religions, apparently, or anybody who has faith in anything beyond themselves. Dick also does as well. But anyway, Ethan Van Sciver, who is supposedly a massive Trump supporter and someone who loves the ex-president, platforms them on his show. Not once, not twice, but probably potentially even 3 times, whether it's Vito and Dick or just Vito and Vito by himself. But he's platformed at least 3 times on his show. And I thought that was very interesting. And by interesting, I mean fucking hypocritical.
He's called Vito Comicsgate royalty now.
Yeah, I've heard that being thrown around.
Like, what?
So
okay.
I sent out a video basically of the Iron Oxide show, which is fabulous. Go and subscribe to his channel immediately. Of us having a discussion as to why he's done this. And Matt can speak to this a little bit in a minute about how Comicsgate has morphed into new Comicsgate, how it's changed from what it was to what it is, where you went from great artists like Billy Tucci, Aaron Lepresky, Dan Fraga, to now Comicsgate royalty of Vito, Mint, Riley, and Dick Masterson. There seems to be an exchange of audiences, in my opinion. And Matt, take a minute or two before we get right into the big stuff. If you would explain, give your opinion, how you feel, how you see it happening. Tell us about the fact that the Comicsgate artists, especially the ones that revolve around Ethan, are different now.
Really different, dude. When I came into Comicsgate, there was a big push against degenerate behavior. We were pushing against gay Iceman and the gay Superman stuff. It was, it was about making comic books that didn't have that kind of stuff in it. And there was a whole bunch of different artists. You had Kelsey, you had Irene, you had a whole bunch of different people. They were they were in the scene, they were, you know, making comics, and they got pushed out. They got called Dungeoneers. You know, people were, you know, leaking whole DM groups, you know, just sitting in there taking screenshots. So all those people just kind of like left, you know.
Some great artists in that group, especially Irene.
Dude, Irene, Kelsey. I mean, just off the top of my head, those are two of the people who I think about where I'm just like, why did you just dog those people to the point where they left and just said, fuck it? I mean, and I'm sure there's some other ones, but just to push those people out and then to have that like space filled in with more weirdos. I don't know, and I think it just came
weirdos
from
just being kind.
Yeah, and it's not even like comic book fans really. It's like people who were over there with the Dax and the Vito, right? So
exactly.
Yeah, these are all like super, super weirdos. A lot of logging about Eric July. You know, it just like it went from Isom is the best comic book ever. I'm doing a cover. Shane Davis is doing a cover. It's going to be fantastic. To, oh, he can't take criticism. He's not taking mine. He's poopy pants with Dax. So it was just like, oh, well, if he's poopy pants with Dax, then I'm just going to go team up with Dax, a.k.a. Dick Masterson.
We'll get to the whole Eric July in a small section of it because I really don't want. I get accused of that all the time. You're doing this because you're a fan of Eric July. I have never bought Eric July's books.
I don't listen to him. I don't listen to him. I don't own his books. You can go through my history. I think I did call out some of the 3D assets in that first book. And it wasn't like, look at that shit. Fuck you, 3D assets. My angle was like, damn, man, this guy, like Eric July got fucking taken. In my opinion, I was like, I don't think he realized what he was buying. Like he went to somebody who he thought was a professional artist and was like, hey, could you draw me a comic book? And the guy was like, yeah, sure. And I don't think Eric July realized what the guy had done.
Yeah.
Like the guy went to like, it's like going to somebody and be like, hey man, I want you to write me a song. And the guy's like, yeah, sure, no problem. And he uses like loops from GarageBand.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like off the top of your head, you don't realize that, right? You're like, oh yeah, that's a great little song, man. Appreciate it. That's awesome. Until somebody else starts like calling out your shit. So I called him out on that and was like, hey man, like that's kind of fucked up. Like all that stuff, you know, I guess you didn't realize that. And he kind of like, you know, went back at me a little bit on some of the other stuff, and I was like, I don't care about that other shit. I'm just mentioning that. And then so his reply was like showing me new artwork. Like so, and that was it. So it's like, okay, like I called out like something weird with the artwork, and he replied with like new artwork that didn't have those issues. So I was like, all right, man, cool. Like good luck with your shit. And that was like 7, 8, 9 months ago. And I just that's it. You know what I mean? There's just
it's a minor issue. It's a minor issue. And to be honest with you, we'll get to the back end of that and we'll keep it short because again, I don't want this to be about Eric July.
That is where a lot of these people are coming from.
Yeah, I get it. You know? Yeah, because I got a lot. Again, I got a lot of it today. I reiterate, I've never bought any of his books. I no offense, I have nothing against Eric July. He seems like a fine fellow, but nothing he's written besides maybe Blood Ruth is even all that appealing to me. I really don't care. As far as I've said it before and I'll say it again, to me this whole thing has been about two very rich men yelling at each other, and I really didn't want to get into it. What I want to get into,
it's a super issue between two dudes. It's very weird that Ethan does this. This is like a reoccurring thing of Ethan, not even of Eric, but this is a thing of Ethan of like having small little personal squabbles and turning it into entire Comicsgate issues.
Yep. But Iron, would you mind going over this particular text, which is what we're really here for. We're going to EFAP this particular text, and then we're going to break it down, and I'm going to provide some receipts. We're going to have a discussion about exactly what the hell is going on. Master Hobo is having a little bit of trouble with his audio, so he's here, and I appreciate him being here. He'll jump in when he gets himself sorted. So I appreciate all you guys being here. So can you take that first bit and we'll talk about it? His number one point. By the way, folks, this is a post on X from Ethan explaining himself after my post questioning why he's platforming a couple of worthless degenerates. Go ahead, if you would, Iron.
For sure. We'll go with the first talking point. I'll start at the top, though. You've got to navigate life according to your own instincts. Here's how mine guide me. Wow, what a great writer. All right, number one, I wouldn't advise allowing someone like Frosk, who was clearly just a clout seeker looking for a media blow up in order to become another Anita Sarkeesian or Zoe Quinn, to a huge platform like the Quarterings. She's a special case. She wanted oxygen.
Number one, this is what Iron has dealt with this. Matt's dealt with it. I've dealt with it all day. Well, not all day, but for a while. That this whole thing is just to get attention on our channels. That has nothing to do with it. I'm doing fine. Matt's doing fine. Iron's damn sure doing fine. He's going to do even better if I have anything to say about it. But this has nothing to do with clout. This has nothing to do with anything like that. This has everything to do with Vito primarily and Dick secondarily, jawboning their way into this space. Iron, can you kind of speak to that while I pull up this first video, this first receipt, as to why these two scumbags, why you think these two scumbags have basically been able to corrupt the CG community? Go ahead.
And to go to Ethan's number one point, and you're going to be hearing this word from me a lot. This is pure fucking projection. So him saying allowing someone like Frosk, and what he's referring to is when the Quartering was going to have Frosk on during that whole, thing well over a year ago, maybe 2 at this point, to kind of get her opinions or find out why she said what she said, if that was pre-planned. He was going to do an interview. That's the Quartering thing that's old news, man. It has nothing to do with this. So again, this is complete projection because he let 2 people that have nothing to do with the indie comic scene into it and to become, like Matt said, Vito's comic books king now for his shitty book, his first book that's never even come out yet. And they've been able to get such a stranglehold on this whole scene. It's now unanimous with Comicsgate. You think of Comicsgate, there's no way. If you ask some, tourist who doesn't really know much about the whole thing other than what they see on Twitter, the first thing they're going to think about when you say Comicsgate is Dick Masterson, Vito, Riley, Mint Salad, degenerate piss porn.
especially nowadays, it has turned into their little playground.
Drama's gate now.
Frog Tony, who the fuck is Frog? Katie did. That's Comicsgate now. And who are these people's fans? Like you were saying, they're not comic fans. It's the lolcow scene, the drama streamers. They're weird the sector. That small fan group is
absolute
now
grifting.
Replaced.
Absolute grifters.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, let break it. Let's focus in on one of those absolute grifters and who his hero is, someone he actually admires. Because that'll get into a more detailed part of the discussion. One of those grifters is Vito. He grifted his way over to $100,000. And no
thanks to Ethan.
And thanks to Ethan and some others. But let's examine who Vito is by watching this little piece of video once again to make it clear. This is a friend, an absolute friend of Vito. Let's take a look.
This film does try to make you sexually aroused by 11-year-olds. And I'll say it's not bad at it. But yeah, as far as like sexy music videos go, it's not bad. It's a solid film. It's a good movie.
That is a man that Vito admires. I think Dick has no big problem with him, and that's the man that Ethan Van Sciver platforms. Not him personally, not Mr. Girl, but someone who holds that gentleman up as way to be, as someone who is being persecuted for his art. That's who Vito thinks is a great guy. All right. Gentlemen, let me go around the horn here. Is that someone who was he joking? First of all, that's another thing that comes up a lot, that's just a joke and it shouldn't be taken seriously. Does that sound like a joke to you guys? Curiously?
No.
Where's the punchline? Like
No,
there's like a
creepy.
joke is like build up punchline, right? I mean, I'm not a comedian, but I feel like knock knock, who's there? You know what I mean? There's like some like steps to a joke, and then there's a payoff. Not
I think
just
the
saying
punchline.
crazy shit out, And I don't. That doesn't. It feels like he's reviewing a movie and he's being serious about it.
Absolutely.
And I want to choke him.
'Cause that's
Like the
what
whole
he's
time I'm
doing.
watching this, I want to throw up.
I think the punchline is that Vito thinks he can convince everybody that he really literally thinks that Vito's big point is that you and I and everybody in the audience, everybody watching this right now who watches it on the refeed, there's something wrong with us that we don't find that funny. To continue, let me continue this.
You guys are weird. Is that the new
Yeah.
call out from the
Right, the
left?
new
You guys are weird.
Buzzword.
Yep, we're
guys
the
are really
weirdos
weird. What?
because we don't find this funny.
It's a good movie. Definitely better than most movies. I don't know if you've ever heard of the app TikTok. There's some pretty interesting stuff on there that I've checked out, and I recommend you check it out. Girls of all ages are dancing and guys are dancing like this. Dances have become more explicitly sexual. They're pretty hot. You're supposed to be
Jesus.
sitting there holding these two thoughts in your head, and one that these are kids, and the other that they're hot.
Cuties.
I already knew that, but I think it's a good thing to put that out. I think it's a good thing to put that out there, as these girls are doing increased solid film.
Okay. Well, again, this guy again, when he's talking about dances on TikTok, he's talking about little girls. He's talking about little boys. He's talking about children. That's what he's talking about. He's not talking about older women or all that stuff. He's talking about kids. That's what he's talking about. And again, gentlemen, round the horn, is that a joke? Which again, Vito will go to his grave screaming. Not just Vito, by the way. I've experienced the Veto files. If you're a fan of Vito, you're basically a Veto file. I've experienced that shit all day as well. They not only defend Vito, they defend Mr. Girl, and they all claim in harmonious choruses that this is just a joke. What do you guys think?
Fellas?
Go ahead.
I don't think it's a joke. I don't see it as any jokes. I just don't see it. I think I just see a fucking weirdo talking about a movie that he enjoyed and what was going on in the movie. I don't see any like womp womp.
No, the guy calls
Hints of
himself
a joke.
Mr. Girl.
Jesus.
Oh, go ahead, Hobo.
There's no hint of a joke. He sounds serious.
Absolutely no hint whatsoever, Hobo. He literally sounds like he's absolutely 100% serious. His weak claim, again, Vito Dick's weak claim is falls on deaf ears. Let me get on to how this connects back to what's going on in Comicsgate and how it actually connects with Ethan's particular nonsense, I guess. Let me see if I have that piece of video here where Ethan is talking about this.
You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're good.
Okay.
You're good. All right, here we go.
JD Maltman, I emailed you the video. I hope you like it. Oh, fuck. All right, let me see. Let's check it out.
If it was Eric.
Let's get past this shit.
You
Stop! Did you see those moves? He'll destroy you.
Oh, those are fucking bullshit, man. I'll fire up the salsa machine.
No.
There's no.
All right, hold on to that for a second. Clearly, there's Dick, there's Vito, and they're all having a good old time on Comics Pro Secrets on Ethan's channel. Now let's get back to the note, and then we'll connect this all up here. Let's get back to this note, Iron. Go to the second point, if you would. Point number 2.
Yeah, no problem. But I'd allow almost any SJW to visit my show because I'd love to argue with them. The thing about SJWs, though, is that they never do that. They avoid CG because there will be consequences for them. Sort of like the hell leftoids give CNN for platforming Trump last year. As for me, I've engaged in conversation with folks like Donnie Cates and Mark Brooks with fun results. I'm not hiring them.
Okay. Again, so Ethan is perfectly all right to platform people that one, you saw what Mr. Girl is. You saw what Mr. Girl says. He's perfectly all right to platform these people. Hell, he seems extremely comfortable with them. Matter of fact, let's not belabor the point. Read the second part. Let's get to the actual meat of the discussion. Go ahead.
Okay, point number 3. You got it. Worthless liberals, quote unquote, are much easier to get along with. They're either interested in debate.
Hang on a second, Iron. Hang on a second. Read that again, if you wouldn't mind. Go ahead.
Not a problem. Worthless liberals, quote unquote, are much easier to get along with. They're either interested in debate or they just don't care too much and want to be friends anyhow.
Oh, well, that's interesting. Worthless goddamn liberals are easier to get along with. Isn't that interesting? They're better. They're easier to get along with. How wonderful! How interesting! Oh my! Oh no! Oh no! Wow! Oh no!
Wait,
no!
Ethan supposedly a Trump supporter?
No!
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!
Oh no! Wow! I mean, I really don't know what to say. Someone else talk for them because I need a moment to collect my thoughts. It's easier for him to get along with liberals. Let me say this real quick, and then I'll let you take over, Iron. This man crafted that response, and it reads well. It reads like it's very, very well thought out because he doesn't want to offend his new audience. You understand? 4 years ago, Ethan would have said, "Fuck Dick, fuck Vito, the hell with them. They're both pieces of shit, degenerates. Screw them." He would have 4 or 5 years ago. He would have been like, no.
Bingo, exactly.
But that he didn't want to. He doesn't want to put out anything too harsh about degenerate progressive liberals because that's his audience now. Please, Iron, if you would.
But I think he was always there. I think he was always the liberal himself. Like there's videos of him saying and talking about how there's no blacklists and there's no gatekeeping in the mainstream. Right. And this is like just a couple of months before he goes full Comicsgate. So right at the end, he's like talking about how there's different berries in season, and he's sounding like a big queer. Going to the grocery store, talking about, hey guys, like there's no SJW stuff going on. It's just all crazy. Like there's no blacklisting because you're
Isn't it interesting how that's changed up from the way it used to be?
I think he's just
Well,
not
it's
looking-
interesting that it's like right when mainstream comic books was like going to shit, and there were SJWs infiltrating it. He was going, no, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing going on, and that's now what he's doing now. So it's just come full circle again. Sick looking.
Well,
He's gone back home.
And the Blacklist and
Like a
Whisper Network that
menstruation.
he claimed never existed in the mainstream. He's brought that over to the indie comic scene with what he's doing with any creator that steps out of line. That's why John and Shane just sit there like, they're in little dog suits strapped to a leash next to him, just yapping for a treat for everything he says. And anytime his opinion just evolves or changes over time, magically so does everybody else's to align exactly with fucking his.
Yeah, all the little tactics that they learned in the corporate offices of Marvel and DC, they've brought them over.
Yeah,
they brought them over
Yep.
here.
Again,
That's why Shane Davis is really good at speaking like corporatese. Like
Mhm.
he'll like talk around stuff and won't say names, but he'll like, he's good at that. It's bullshit. And we even have like, what's the girl who like, the Gamersgate, the girl who like kind of
Anita Sarkeesian or whatever her name
banged
is?
her way to the top.
Chloe Quinn or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, we got ourselves one of those too.
And his name's Ethan.
Hail Emily. Now I feel better. Emily and Selena are both here. Thank God. Look, we're gonna circle back to, if you're gonna platform people like Vito and Dick, it's important for the audience to know exactly who Vito and Dick are. And we touched on it a little bit earlier about who Vito's actual superhero is, the guy that Vito would drink his dirty bathwater. And let's go more into that. Let's talk more about who Vito likes and who Vito models himself after and who Vito worships. Let's go into some little scene footage and little known footage again from Mr. Girl to again establish Vito's personality.
Consent and a lot more rapiness. All my favorite romance scenes in movies are kind of rapey, and also in real life. I'm sorry, it's boring when someone is like, oh, Mr. Girl, you're just the best. Let's have some healthy, totally well thought out, non-regret inducing, not scary sex. I'm just not into that. It's a lot better when it's like, oh, my friends are all so creeped out by you. Rape is human. Rape culture is human culture. And if you can accept that, instead of going into sex thinking, this is totally consensual. I have consented, and this other person has consented 100%. You could open your fucking mind a little bit. We demand that women convince themselves they are 100% they want to have sex every time they do. All we're doing is telling them to lie to themselves, to simplify their emotions, to bury their pain and confusion even deeper. My shitty parents actually thought they could stop my sexuality from becoming creepy and violent by not letting me watch rape scenes in movies. But all that accomplished was now I feel guilty about my rapey thoughts. Less consent and a lot.
Okay, so nobody ever believes me, especially Veto files and what's called, when I say, and I've said before that Mr. Girl advocates that rape victims have it coming, that rape victims are cool, that rape culture is something that should be embraced. What's up, Anthony? They all, now again, how on earth do you apologize or make that okay? You just heard it coming from his fucking mouth. What he said
That's
about
jokes,
rape.
bro.
It's just, you're absolutely, it's just jokes.
It's just being denial about it.
It's just jokes.
So this is where he's like, hey, jokes are funny. Jokes are okay to to like laugh about. Is this where, Riley and all of them get their sense of humor about rape?
I don't
like they like Vito's watching this guy, they're watching this guy, they're all going, oh, this guy is saying rape is funny. Okay, let's go ahead and incorporate that into our shtick.
Again, I point out that Vito thinks this guy is great, and EVS thinks Vito is a wonderful guy, a great guy, a cool guy, or does
Comicsgate King,
or does
royalty, bro,
or does he?
Hasn't even have one book out, but he's royalty.
Garbage, by the way.
More from let's establish more of who influences Vito and Dick to a degree. Probably Dick's probably a big fan of this fucking guy too. Let's just make a little bit more. Here we go.
I feel bad about myself for being attracted to younger women, but I'm not attracted to their fucking brains. I'm attracted to the fact that they haven't had a chance to ruin their fucking bodies yet.
Jesus
You know?
fuck.
I just want a 35-year-old brain in a 15-year-old body.
There
Maybe
you
16.
go. Again,
I
more.
think it would be 14 at first, and then it would move up once the novelty wore off. I think it would be 15 or 16.
Is this consideration in line with your desire to empathize with pedophiles, or is it something more personal than that?
I just want a 15-year-old body. I feel bad about myself.
More jokes, folks. More jokes.
I don't know how that's funny. It
This is
seems
very
like
creepy, man.
confessional shit right there.
Yeah, he's not kidding. And they both advocate for treat PDF files like human beings. Hey, we need to help them and figure out a way to give them an outlet for their urges and not ostracize them from society. Go fuck yourself. Guy. What the?
That's so gnarly. That is so gnarly, dude.
Get the fuck away.
And again, I have been in multiple discussions with Vito over the years. This motherfucker literally cheerleads for the guy who just said that. He cheerleads for him. Is that not his? But I'm the asshole.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the guy that people call me monster and all kinds of other fucking shit because I point that out.
Yeah.
Can you fucking believe it?
Hey man, why can't you just relax and be cool with everybody? Get the fuck out of here. I'm not.
You're so evil, Mr.
normal
Burger.
to abnormal shit.
These
you know what I mean? I'm not normalizing that at all.
These
Especially
are
when
the
it's like gay Iceman, no. Gay Superman, no. Like I'm just not interested in like, okay, that was not good. So you're gonna tell me that like pedo stuff is okay? Like, no, get out of here.
These are the guys that EVS thinks are easier to get along with. Let's finish up this post, if you will, Iron.
Can I just jump in real sec for that? I'm not hiring him. Period.
Good.
Like he's talking about hiring JDA, that Anderson fella.
Oh yeah, they made up. Yeah.
No. That's a different JDA. There's another guy whose initials are JDA. They used to joke that he was the good JDA. He had a book called Claws Out or something like that, like Conflict Claws Out. And he had a campaign raised $10K, and then he just fucking bounced. So it's like, yeah, you're not hiring them, but you're hiring people who just steal like $10K from Comicsgate backers, and like nobody talks about it. Like he doesn't mention it. Anderson doesn't talk about when the book's gonna come out. It's fucked up. So
I think it's also a bit of a dig, and I know we don't want to get too much into Eric July, but it definitely is how they've all been spurging out over the Soska sisters because, you know, they're obviously not in line exactly with everybody else. They did had some differing opinions, especially as they were younger, like a lot of people do. And it doesn't, but they don't let that bleed over into their work. But that has been their single point. Look, how dare he hire these degenerates? We need to shut them down. This is anti everything that this movement stands for. In the meantime, but Dick Masters, Vito, and Riley and mint salad, totally fine, guys. Have an open mind. Have an open mind. They're fine. Yeah, they're doing this shit current day. They're saying the things and doing what they do now,
dude. But that not only that, dude. There's also. Have you seen some of the Katie did stuff? Some of the stuff that she's doing.
Jesus.
Oh, bro, dude. The tags and she's like, I don't read the tags. I just read the stories, and it's like, Yeah,
There's,
but
there's
these
an awful lot of backpedaling going on, Matt.
Mhm.
There's a lot. I haven't been the last
dude,
week.
it's
There's
insane.
a ton of backpedaling going on.
There's a lot of crazy. It's like maybe just pump the brakes on this Eric July guy and who he's hiring. If you're sitting there talking about sibling, if sibling incest is a tag in one of your fan fiction, maybe sit down.
Jesus Christ.
Maybe fucking sit the fuck down. It's crazy, dude. I don't read the tags. I just read the stories. Okay, so you read the stories that have the sibling incest in it. Okay. Explain it. Make that make sense.
Speaking of backpedaling, here's a little. We'll get back to the. We'll finish up with the post. But here, you know what? Hold up. For that to make sense, read the last one. Go ahead and read it.
Okay, for sure. So right after I'll be friends with them. I wouldn't hire them to steer the message of my own comics by writing or editorial, but I might hire a liberal penciler to draw something for me if it was truly excellent artist. And number 4, one thing that gets my heckles up is being told not to associate with someone, whether it's the SJWs of the mainstream telling me to stay away from Richard C. Meyer for my own good, or supposed allies telling me the same about Dick Masterson and Vito. I will cut off communication with the people sending me those kinds of messages before I ever comply.
Oh God!
Get off your fucking cross.
Stand up for Dick and Vito the way Vito stands up for Mr. Girl. But wait, hold on a second. Wait, he stands up for Dick and Vito. He stands up. What's this? Iron, if you would.
Vito isn't an SJW. He's a liberal. There's a world of difference. Although he did try a little cancel culture bullshit on F&T when they hosted Alex Jones, which he regrets because he got caught. Mostly, he just says Trump sucks and women should be able to kill their babies. Postnatally. Thank you, man. Fuck Vito.
Yeah, they say, wait a minute, hold on. So he hates Trump, which EVS admits. He's for a baby killing, which EVS admits, and he admits that he hates Trump. But what the hell? He has him on his platform? What's going on? What's the depth? What does that sound like to you?
But Vito's not an SJW. Not an SJW.
Even though he tried to cancel
F&T. Hypocritical to me. You were saying something, Hobo?
He's not
he's not. He tried to cancel F&T. Yeah, he's not for cancel culture at all.
Yeah. He's actively involved in gay ops on multiple levels.
How are you going to say ops?
The gayest of ops? Like, oh, I'm not an SJW. Yeah, you are. You actively get involved socially with shit that you think needs justice, right? You're a keyboard warrior with a fucking, desire for justice for shit. You're doing it on social media. So yeah, you're an SJW.
And again, this is a guy who does Comicsgate Kings. The last 2 Comicsgate Kings have nothing but been a quote unquote patriot love fest. This is a guy playing Trump videos over and over again. We love the president. What the fuck? Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, he got shot. Yeah, they're coming after us. They're trying to cancel us over here with our comics, just like they're trying to cancel Trump. Like what?
60-year-old fucking bald idiot.
What?
Who is us? You're not us.
Dude, it's bro, you were at DC and all they did was just like not renew your contract. You know what I mean? Like he could have gone to Marvel. He could have done a bunch of other stuff. Like nobody canceled him. They were just like,
he was lazy back then at DC as well.
See, my theory with
the DC thing, it was just like nobody canceled you at DC, but all of a sudden there's like SJWs, but like no, there's no SJWs here.
My thing is that I want to point out something which leads us to the next segment here. Basically, you see this where it says, "Man, fuck Vito." EVS is very transactional. This is something I think Iron and I talked about off air one time. He's real transactional. He seems to turn on motherfuckers real quick.
Oh yeah.
His enemy list is growing every day.
Dude, he literally was like, I'm like, man, what the fuck is up with Mint and Riley? And it's like, they send me thousands of dollars. That was it, you know?
Wow.
And it was like, you know, I'm not going to gatekeep my customers. Like, that's what he goes to, you know, where it's like, I'm not going to gatekeep my customers. And it's like, I'm not telling you to gatekeep your customers. I'm not telling you to, like, just call out, like, oh, let me go through my backer list. Oh, what does backer 142 do? Oh, he's a stripper? Yeah, I'm not going to, I don't want him to back it. No, that's not what's happening. He's bringing these people onto his platform, onto his show, talking about their weird shit, showing the weird shit, encouraging the weird shit.
They're not even comic fans either.
Right.
Nah,
they're not
they're
comic
dude.
fans or comic creators, and he's giving them more authority within Comicsgate than actual creators.
And then they
any
get to,
actual
like,
creator can get booted for these fucks.
Yeah, they
and
booted him
then
that far
what
for no
do they get
reason.
to do? Okay, hey, thanks a lot, Mint, for being on. So what do you have anything to promote? Yeah, my fansly with the incest stuff and me getting pissed on and slapped on. It's like that's Comicsgate. And then
Yeah,
you
we
have
went
the
from
Air
Matt
July
Barr to
event
Mid Salad.
where this dude is just fucking screaming fucking Comicsgate at people who are trying to enjoy this comic from Eric July. You know?
And again,
fucking
it's
bizarre,
just
dude.
a situation where there's a lot of hypocrisy. There's a lot of this. There's a lot of that. I've heard constant, you know, small and mid-level creators that get in his sites, and he takes an absolute shit on them. Again, I have my issues with John Delarose, but the stuff he said about Mr. Delarose was unfair and childish. I don't know if you've noticed how childish this motherfucker's been. He's like 65 years old, and he behaves like a fucking child.
Like
literally,
a 14-year-old
like a
girl.
He does.
Kind of like a reverse of what Mr. Girl actually wants.
You know. And again, so I can beat a dead horse, and I'm here to do that. Let's again expose and show exactly who Mr. Girl is, because we want to make sure that not only EVS, but other people that want to platform Vito, they need to be aware of who he admires and who he loves.
Get your barf bags ready.
So another example of Mr. Girl is this one here.
And I'll never forget my ex looking at me and calmly saying to me, "Why are you punching me in the face?" It was a good question. I'll add, for the sake of honesty, I did punch her in the face. So in my case, hitting women over the next several years from that point on, when I first came out as an abusive piece of shit woman batterer to my family, I told my father, listen, every time we come visit you, we end up getting into some physical altercation at your house after you go to sleep. When we go back to our room, we're basically fist fighting for like an hour every time we come visit you, because you're so demeaning to me and you mock me and you treat me like a fucking loser.
Check this shit out.
Like, again, this
crazy,
here is why do you always focus in on his cuties review? It's just satire, but it's not just the cuties review. This guy advocates for physical harm to women. He does. And he is a quote unquote friend of Mr. Girl, Vito. Vito is. Does that, again, gentlemen, let me double check my North Star. Did that sound like a joke to you? What he just said? Did it sound like a joke? Sound like he was kidding around?
Missing something in his brain.
Yeah.
Agreed, hobo. Agreed.
If he was joking, it's not funny.
Damn sure ain't. It damn
if
sure
he's
ain't.
supposed to be playing a character, he needs to kind of like acknowledge that in some way.
You need to give a hint of the humor.
Yeah, it is. I mean, or it's like the driest Sacha Baron character I've ever seen. You know what I mean? Where it's like the most like low key fucking weird character. But I don't think so. I think it's just this guy talking whatever he's thinking.
He's just
that's what I think. That's what I believe. And there's mountains and mountains of evidence to in my opinion that shows a pattern of behavior that leads me to believe that he is not a joke. Now listen, we all know that degenerate worthless liberals are degenerate worthless liberals, but when degenerate worthless liberals call you out for this bullshit, you've made maybe you need to re-examine yourself. For example,
that was over the line. The only thing that was over the line in the Cuties review was him stating which one was his favorite girl. Okay? When he says that they're there to sexualize little girls and they do a good job of it, I think categorically that's actually true. It doesn't mean you have to sit there and be attracted to them. You can see what they're trying to convey and notice that they do a good job of it. Okay? But to sit there and like point out which one is your favorite, I would say that's the one thing that's over the line for me.
But and to be clear though, I think what people missed about that review is that it is a serious review. You're seriously reviewing the movie, sprinkled with cutaway jokes to try and what I think was to lessen the mood, to go or lighten the mood. When he goes, clearly the blonde one's the hottest one. I go, okay, this part of the review is a joke.
Dark.
He knows he's talking about an uncomfortable subject, so now he's going to try and lighten the tension by making what is clearly a joke. Unfortunately, people took that review, only cut out the clear, obvious, satirical elements and presented them as straight fact. This man reviewed Cuties, and all he talked about was which ones were hot.
Okay. You know what? That's bullshit. You and I, everybody here knows it. It's bullshit. But how do you explain the other shit that we heard? How do you explain him directly saying, I want a 35-year-old woman's brain in a 15-year-old girl's body? How do you explain that shit away?
He calls himself Mr. Girl, for fuck's sake.
Jesus Christ.
I mean,
but everybody on that panel is a disgusting, vile, stupid liberal. Everyone on that panel is just it's a podcast full of a group of communist, Marxist, disgusting liberal Democrats. They flow from that panel. It's what's called, but even they are condemning it. Even they see that it's a problem, that it's an issue.
It's too much for them.
So yeah.
See, I've got some heavily left-leaning friends and family. I show them this, they're going to be wood chipper advocates in a hot second.
Of course they will, because it's not a joke.
Yeah,
because it's not funny.
Well, I mean, a lot of like normal people have like some liberal leanings. You know what I mean? A little bit of just like, yeah, man, like, yeah, but it becomes a slippery slope. Where it's like, yeah, like, don't arrest them, like, don't arrest gays. To let them get married, right? To like, yeah, you know what I mean? It just like escalates, and then to this point where it's like, hey, we're just talking about cuties and we're joking about it, and
see that's
okay.
That's a
lower the age of consent for certain groups of people to make
now
it
it's gone too far the other way.
It's societally wrong.
Hey, look, folks, everybody knows
they're grooming on a fucking social scale.
Everybody knows that I literally, if you look up the word right-wing nut job in a dictionary, it's my picture holding a double-barrel shotgun with an bald eagle sitting on my shoulder, wrapped in the American flag, standing on a dead hippie. Everybody knows that that's me, and I'm proud.
I need a
it,
poster of that in my room.
That I am America first, last, and forever. Other countries are great, but fuck them compared to this country. I am a literal right-wing nut job, but even I have no problem with same-sex marriage. You want to get married to a dude, fucking fine. I don't give a shit about that. What the fuck you do in your house is your own fucking business. You want to dress up like a broad and pretend to be a woman, put on a woman costume for the rest of your fucking life. I think it's stupid. I think it's mentally ill. But if you ain't hurting me, then fucking fine. My problem is putting books in kids' schools, beating up women at the Olympics, pretending to be a chick and beating up a real woman at the Olympics. That's where I got you and me. We got a fucking problem. And trying to use the bathroom when a little girl is in there. That's where I got my fucking problem. All right, you leave me alone. I'll leave you the fuck alone.
Yeah, you have the freedom to do that, but we also have the freedom to laugh at you and think it's dumb.
Yeah,
also reject
that's the cost of fucking freedom and the compelled speech bullshit.
Exactly. Look, again, these people on the left are misunderstanding acceptance for tolerance. Legally, I gotta tolerate you, but I will never accept you. I gotta tolerate you. I can't do anything bad to you. I can't hurt. I don't want to. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to throw you off a building like some people do. I don't want to hurt anybody, and I don't want anybody hurting me.
No.
That doesn't necessarily mean I accept. When you say I'm a woman because you just declare you're a woman, no. But again, this is I'm voicing this because there's some people out there, Ethan Van Sciver, who may not understand this. They may not. So I'm trying to help them to reach some understanding. He is 65. So maybe there's a dementia thing going on there or whatever and all the rest.
Yeah, it's Alzheimer's.
Yeah, something going on. So folks, let's get into a couple other things before we wrap this up. Let's get into, I just got this a minute ago. I don't know what it is. Let's take a look at it together.
Easily.
Look.
Somebody like Alyssa has to sit through 5 hours of my idiocy in order to find 10 minutes that might be commentary worth. Most of it's just crap. Most of it's just me muttering and singing along to Starship songs, doing dumb shit. So to find 10 minutes that might be provocative or that might piss her audience off and might make people hate me more, or people who like me, to find 10 minutes that might be like, yeah, that's fucking awesome. Go, Ethan. That's work. Like, you actually do have to sit through these live streams, in my opinion, and just kind of, find something that's valuable, right?
Wow, that's an amazing piece of video. He literally is monetizing the garbage that comes out of his mouth.
I'm surprised the chair's holding him.
Wow.
Wait a minute. Was he talking about what he does with?
Oh, well, how dare you make fun of that man's physique? How dare you?
He did break another chair. What was that stream? The Cold Casino, I think he broke the chair.
Jesus
He's not sitting on chairs anymore. He's brought in some bricks. There's just like a pile of bricks that he's sitting
listen, on. I disavow that. I disavow that. How dare you, sir, harass that old man about his morbid obesity? How dare you? But he's actually monetizing the garbage that comes out of his mouth, or trying to. He literally is admitting that he does hours and hours of blabbering and says nothing. He doesn't talk about. He talks an hour and 20 minutes about Eric July, and then he says, 5 minutes worth of stuff about comic books. That's what.
Yeah, there's super chats, dude. That's it.
Yeah, Matt, elaborate on that. Matt, elaborate on that. Go ahead. Say what you said the other day. Go ahead about the super chats. Go ahead.
Oh fuck, I don't remember what I said. I just know that he gets nothing but super chats. Like it's just the super chats are more important than the comic books at this point. I mean, remind me what I said the other day.
That's basically it. His whole shtick now is super chats. The reason why he wrote that post the way he wrote it is because he doesn't want to offend Dick and Vito's audience, because Dick and Vito's audience are coming hard and heavy with the super chats.
Yeah, that's what they come in for. They come in with the super chats. They're not really here for the comic books. They're not really interested at all with them because they're not comic book collectors.
Yeah, they got mad when he was talking about his comic book. His fans, the drama streaming fans, they got upset when he started talking about his comic book.
Went after John Longbox. I see my friend John Longbox in the chat. He's a great guy, man. Fucking Ethan went after him this morning.
Yep, it was bad.
Yeah, I saw that. Him going, man. I saw his side of it, but it was like, it's kind of gay to go after Eric July like this, or something. I'm paraphrasing it, and that just triggered Ethan.
I like what John said. I like what John said about his broken neck, and he's getting his book faster than Ethan.
I'd like to say something real quick, and then we have one more subject after this. There's smaller creators out there that are my friends, people I stream with, people I admire. Nobody in this crowd or whatever that literally are afraid of Ethan Van Sciver and the Holy Trinity. They act like they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to say what's going on. They don't want to chime in with their opinion. I guess I'm fine with that. But they still think the reason why they don't want to is because they think they're going to have an opportunity to get on their shows and hawk their wares. I was like that 3 or 4 months ago, but I realized, thanks to Yellow Flash, that that's not going to happen. That's not going to fucking happen. The Holy Trinity, Ethan and the other guys have closed their ranks. They are not going to help you. They're not going to help. The Dungeoneers will never be welcomed back. They will never be accepted. Phil will never come
back. They're better
back.
anyways.
None of the
they're better off. They're all like realizing that it's a fucking cult. I mean, maybe not a cult. That sounds like a weird word, but they're all realizing that they've been building their own platforms. They've been putting out their books. Phil's been putting out multiple books. Irene's putting out multiple books.
Kelsey,
you know what I mean? It's like they're
all
kind
these
of
people are cut off.
I don't say they're growing out of CG, but it's like they don't need the drama of it.
They don't even mention CG anymore.
You know what I mean? It's like, hey, like we're putting out our books. We don't need the constant drama and the constant nitpicking that they get online, the constant fucking with that they get.
Because they actually care about their books.
And now I want to ask you, Mr. Berger, what you said that these new creators that don't speak up because they're hoping to get platformed or get a shout out from EVS and the others. Do you think it's that, or do you think that they're more scared that if they come within their radar that they're going to be a target?
I think it's a little bit of both, frankly, Iron. I really do. I think it's a little bit of both. But my overall point is it doesn't matter. They're done. I keep repeating it. People kind of bypass it. The economy's bad. You understand? People don't have the kind of money they had when Trump was in office where they can burn off $25, $40, $50 for a book. Ever since Senior Dementia, aka Joe Biden, took over, we don't have the kind of bread. And the Comicsgate big wigs, they know that. And honestly, I think this is 80% of the issue with Ethan. If you're buying a Vaughn book, then you're not buying one of his. You're buying a Rainey book, you're not buying one of his. You buy a Yellow Flash book, you're not buying one of his. You know what I mean? The pie is getting smaller, and basically that's when Ethan kind of adopted the Howard Stern routine that he's doing now. Everybody's my enemy. Everybody's your enemy. And we all have to stick together. My books aren't just books. They're religious cult icons that you have to have. If you love me, spend money with me. And not only spend money with me, hate everybody else. Hate everybody that I hate. Literally, that's how Howard Stern got popular in the late 80s and early 90s. He's literally
so fucked up. Like just him starting fights with people. Like him just rolling around starting fight, like the biggest person of Comicsgate starting fights. You know, Mark Brooks, blah, blah, blah. There's like a whole list of people that he's like started shit with. It's like, is that really the goodwill that we're trying to promote with Comicsgate?
I got tired of him arguing with people. I got blocked.
You know?
Say that again, Hobo.
I got tired of Ethan arguing with people so much that I called him out and then I got blocked for it.
I mean, we all are. We're all fucking tired of it. The only reason they leave their channels open to me is because they want to see how this documentary comes out and other stuff. It is just and my buddy Brian here, the king of UFOs, phenomenon, and other strange things. Catch the show coming up next week.
Just poor leadership, you know, just somebody who's like bequeathing and like bequeathing who's royalty,
and who is
announcing who's like gonna be Comicsgate and who isn't. Like, hey, just these 4 people are Comicsgate. Everybody else, you could just come and go. Instead of like he'll say shit like that, but when it comes to like actual leadership and actual like action that helps, somebody other than himself, like he doesn't do anything.
He's all talk.
It's all talk. It's complete bullshit.
Anthony, I sent you the link, man. If you want to come in here real quick, as we're wrapping it up, it'd be great because you're making some good points, but people have to read. So if you want to come in here, you're more than welcome.
Dark Gift is good stuff. He's
basically,
been here since the beginning. What's crazy? Here's the crazy thing is that while, and I'm just gonna like pat Dark Gift on the back. While, and I don't know if this is what he's thinking or not, but like Comicsgate was saved from the clutches of Poulter because of Dark Gift. Dark Gift is the one that saved fucking Comicsgate's trademark. But like, does he get any sort of fucking platforming at all? No, piss porn people do.
Yeah,
pedo joke people
PBS
do.
takes all the credit for everything.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, thanks a lot for that. Okay, bye. And it's like, you know, there's no credit where credit's due. I'm just saying.
And now we have porno people on here now in CG.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Sorry about that, Anthony. I did. Now I sent you the link. Now I sent you the link if you want to come in here. If you want the last, I guess, 15 minutes, we'll wrap this up. Again, I want to point out that, again, EVS has no business talking about being a conservative, no business talking about being a Trump supporter when you platform in morons and douchebags like Vito and Dick. Again, providing more and more receipts as to why that is. Here's another video as to why. Vito, this actually shows a little bit of contrition. Vito knows what the fuck he's doing is disgusting and gross. He knows it. So here's a little bit of proof of that. Go ahead.
Defensive way of reacting to that because I'm an idiot, and I'll say that right now. I handled it badly. I said, yeah, you know what, I am. Yeah, you better hide your kids. You know, you better watch out for Vito. He's gonna whatever. And that was my defensive way of. I also had never dealt. You know, I've dealt with heat before, but I've never had hundreds, thousands of people calling me a pedophile.
Vito, that's because people don't like that. Why do you think? Why do you think Bud Light and Target and these companies are losing all this money? Because they're fucking with kids.
Flash, I made a huge mistake. I reacted badly to a lot of negative criticism coming my way. I thought I could brush it off by making a bunch of jokes and going, "Yeah, that is me." That is, and then you know what? I realized that isn't working. Clearly.
Yeah, but are they jokes? Are they jokes, really, Vito? The thing is that Vito, you've been saying weird shit like this. Hang on a second, let me upload it. You've been saying shit like this for years. Are they jokes, Vito? You've been saying shit like let me go to another one here. You've been saying shit like this for years. Are they fucking jokes? It's funny when kids get raped. That this is a post. You understand? This is a post he put up. You know what I mean? Are they jokes, Vito? These another
sound like jokes.
It's gonna be like he started to like threaten litigation against people who were calling him pedo.
Yeah, but how do you
just
do
like,
that?
bro? You're not gonna be able to argue this in a court. You're not gonna be able to fucking bring this in front of a judge and explain that this is all a joke.
Because
she's gonna be like, well, she's gonna say, well, a reasonable person reading this would assume that you're a fucking pedo. So get the fuck out of here.
Exactly. Someone who doesn't know you and just reads these posts is going to assume you're a pedo because you fat, fucking, worthless degenerate. You have said that you're a pedo.
He's
one
like,
of his
I'm
jokes.
Not kidding. He said that I'm not kidding. I'm serious.
Yes, this is not a joke.
Yeah.
So good luck with that. I hope you and the Dadler dicks come after me legally. I dare you, you fat motherfucker. I double dare you. Come after me. You want me to shut the fuck up? You want me to not do the documentary? Come the fuck after me, you bloated goddamn degenerate. Do it. I dare you. Motherfucker, number one, I got God on my side, you degenerate piece of shit. And I got mountains and mountains, hundreds and hundreds of posts of your degenerate, worthless ass posting garbage on X, formerly Twitter, of you literally fucking saying I'm a pedophile. I dare you to fucking sue me. Motherfucker, you ain't the only one that got lawyers. I got lawyers too. Let's go at it, big boy. You and the daddler, aka Juju the cow. I'm saying it publicly. I'm not afraid of you. I'm Matt Barr's boy. Let's get that straight right now. You and the Veto files can say whatever the fuck you want, but that will never change this. That will never change this. That will never change this. You are the one that called yourself a fucking pedophile, not me. I have never publicly said that. I am stating it once again. I have no evidence that Vito is a pedophile. None whatsoever.
I mean, I'm saying it. Look, you could be just because you don't have to be convicted to be a pedophile. It's not like suddenly you get a label because you're convicted. You could be a pedophile and not be convicted. Am I wrong?
No, not wrong.
Is there some sort of like legal, like, no, he's not one until he touches, then suddenly you're a fucking, as soon as you got the ideas, as soon as you start jamming on that shit, you're a fucking pedophile.
Personally, I just,
am I wrong? I mean,
my thing is I want to keep the whole thing and stuff that I can prove. I can't prove in any way, shape, or form that he is a kid diddler, but the thing is I can prove that he has advocated and protected and simped for kid diddlers. That I can prove.
And why are so many of their super fans share that same mindset? But apparently it's just jokes. Matt, what you went through with one in particular that was making pretty blatant threats.
Gnarly. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, dude. And it's like,
you are who you
I'm like, yo, Ethan,
with.
what the fuck is your problem, dude? Because like, I'm like, yo, man, like, I'm drawing these fucking horses for you, and you're showing up on these people's fucking streams while they're talking about graping me. Like they're sitting there, they got a song, they're making up domain names that are coming back to my YouTube. They're doing all this crazy shit. And while they're doing it, I'm sitting there drawing these fucking horses for Ethan. And then I see Ethan pop on there. Hey, how you guys doing? Oh yeah, you're the Donna Marie of CG. Okay, what are you talking about? Matt Barr and doing what? Oh, okay, see you later, bye. And it's like, man, what the fuck is your deal, dude? Like, I'm not saying, like, it just seems so obvious. You know what I mean? It just seems so like naturally like, yo, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, I'm not gonna fucking deal with that. But
the mask is just coming off.
You know, I didn't realize that, like, 3 years into CG that I'd be some sort of like moral compass. You know what I mean? And be like,
so
like, like, holy shit! Like,
let me finish up this one piece because this is important that we
People
see
are
this.
actually just believing these things about me. So if you actually pay attention to my internet presence, I don't say these things. I don't make these jokes that you accuse me of making all the time.
You do.
Now, occasionally, like Ethan will come on the show and he'll go, "Oh, keep girls away from Vito, whatever." And I'll laugh and I'll go, "Yeah, I know what because I go along with the joke. I've obviously sullied my reputation. And at this point, what am I going to do? Ethan, how could you make that joke at my expense? I go, yeah, I got.
What I think is fucking interesting. I'm gonna play this again, by the way. What I think is fucking interesting is that Vito knows his reputation is fucked up. He knows it. He absolutely knows his reputation is fucked up. He did this Star Wars thing, like we talked about last time. It was great. It was very funny. A whole essay on all this stuff is great and very funny. He was on Tucker Carlson. He defended Dave Chappelle and all this stuff. He's not going to be remembered for that. None of it. He's going to be remembered for defending a kid diddling son of a bitch. A guy who thinks rape is cool. That's what he's gonna be remembered for. Let's play this again.
Right now, I handled it badly. I said, yeah, you know what? I am. Yeah, you better hide your kids. You know, you better watch out for Vito. He's going to whatever. And that was my defensive way of, I also had never dealt.
Excuse me.
You know, I've dealt with heat before, but I've never had hundreds, thousands of people calling me a
Vito,
pedophile
that's because people don't like that. Why do you think? Why do you think Bud Light and Target and these companies are losing all this money? Because they're fucking with kids.
Flash, I made a huge mistake. I reacted badly to a lot of negative criticism coming my way. I thought I could brush it off by making a bunch of jokes and going, yeah, that is me. That is, and then you know what? I realized that isn't working. Clearly, people are actually just believing these things about me. So if you actually pay
again, they're believing it because you're saying it. That's why people are believing it. You notice how he's the fucking victim in all this. I mean, listen, Matt Barr, Iron Oxide, Hobo. Look, you're victimizing Vito. He's the victim in all this. That's what's going on. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! No! Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no!
We're supposed to play the world's smallest.
What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!
See, aren't you three ashamed?
It's like Violet.
Look how big. I don't know how I'm going to sleep at night now.
I'm
damn
so
right. He's the victim.
Pay attention to my internet presence. I don't say these things. I don't make these jokes that you accuse me of making all the time.
Literally,
I sleep like a baby. I go to bed right when I put my head down. I go. I called that motherfucker a pedo, and I just showed
you making these jokes. Yeah, I just put them up on the screen.
I close my eyes. I go, everything I wanted to say, I did.
All right.
Close my eyes.
Enough of this amateur hour drama. I got the real drama.
Oh, Go ahead, Anthony.
This guy over here stole my lighting.
Maybe you guys live in the same place.
What's going on, man?
Oh my God, they're really
he's
there.
Actually
just reach out and touch.
We're really eliminating
the same room.
The ruse.
You're all roommates.
Anthony of Dark Gift Comics, I am very happy that you showed up for this discussion. I really am. Don't forget to send me your artwork so I can do
yes.
Your.
I'm going to do that tomorrow. I've been. Which I've been off the last couple of days, but I've been outside taking care of some stuff. We're going to be getting thunderstorms tomorrow, so tomorrow is all my indoor work. So
okay, I've been doing a lot of this stuff, and I got to get back to promoting comic books, films, and animation. I got to get back to doing animation. I do not want Veto is not going to be something I'm going to do every single fucking week, but this stuff got me triggered. I was on Iron Oxide. I don't know. I blame it on him. I was on his show and we started talking about this, and then I did a little tiny clip, and then it evolved into this. Almost 43,000 views on X in 72 hours from that clip, all with Iron's link in it. So I hope some people subscribe to the channel, because 43,000 views of that whole thing, and that's one of the biggest ones we've had for this year. But Anthony, if you could speak to the current CG versus new CG stuff that's going on, and why do you think that's happening? Why do you think it's occurring?
Yeah, well, I'm breaking. I was taking a break from panels.
Oh yeah, I remember. Sorry about this.
But I figured this would be a you're wrapping up, so I can just come in and I'll just bullet point the things I was saying in the chat. First of all, when it comes to Vito and his jokes and the victimization of him, I told him a long time ago, I would never, I'm never going to call him something that I can't prove that he is.
Me too, exact.
I'm never going to go down that road with him.
I agree.
But I'm also not going to have sympathy for the bed that he made. Like, this is a situation of his own making that now he has to live with. He should have known better as someone who's been on YouTube and stuff and social media for probably longer than most of us. that the internet is forever, and you just don't shake something like that off, especially when you say stuff like somebody even mentioned in one of his tweets, "I'm not joking." Well, if you say I'm not joking, people are going to say
you're not joking.
Think you're not joking. So I don't know what you want me to tell you, brother. Like I want to believe you. I want to say that, like, yes, you're a horrible comic. You shouldn't be a comedian, and you should just knock it off and just do your rant, your ranting podcast show, and stick to that. But jokes are not your thing, man. Sorry to tell you. Sorry to break it to you. You know what I mean? Like, I can make a wisecrack remark here and there, but I'm not a comic. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know my lane. I know when I'm not, like, where I can go and what I shouldn't do.
Because comedians, you sit there and you watch or listen to Joe Rogan sometimes, and they sit there and they write out jokes.
Right.
And they'll write out, like, okay, this will be the timing. This will be the punchline. This is the build up. This will then build up to something else that I could start using as like fuel for more punchlines. But
like I said in the chat, like I said in the chat, we've all seen comics that have made risky jokes that are like along the same
and so forth,
along the same line as what these guys are saying are jokes. You've heard people make like a crack about underage kids or beating their wife.
Again,
or
Louis C.K. is famous for making that joke. Go ahead.
Right. But the art to that joke is to let the audience know that
it's a joke.
Well, not even that it's a joke. That if you're the person doing the horrible thing, you're the asshole in the joke. If somebody else is, they're the asshole in the joke, right? The art to making a joke like that is to let the audience know that you're not supporting it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Even if it sounds like you are, like the setup is you still come out looking like shit at the end, and that's usually the punchline, right? Like, so when you're saying it loudly and proudly, where's the punchline? Like, you're making it sound like you're okay with it. Like, there's no it's horrible. It's
like,
just,
I want to do this, but too bad. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's like some sort of like
like Jim Jeffries, famous for being one of the most misogynistic comics of the early 2000s, right? Like before he went friggin' all Comedy Central sellout.
Yeah.
But like, those jokes, he paints himself as a misogynist dick. Like, so you know what I mean? Like, you laugh at the joke. You might even partly agree with, like, the minor point, but the part that goes over the top is obviously the faux pas, the joke, the part that, like, nobody agrees with, So it's just, if you're gonna, I mean, this guy's done stand-up, like, amateur hour. If you're gonna go for that, man, you really need to get better. I'm sorry. But going to the state of CG, as other than I think Christgau, I'm probably the most liberal person in this community. Like, I was literally a 90s liberal guy. I believe, but I'm one of those ones that, like, back then was considered left, but today I'm far right because I think that, like, if you're gonna have an abortion, do it before the first trimester's over and the kid has a heartbeat. Like, I didn't think, what was the old saying? Safe, rare,
and something. I forget what it was.
Right, that kind of thing. Gay marriage, sure. If you want to be miserable like the rest of us, go ahead. I don't care.
Again, I have no problem. I'm an ultra conservative, and I don't have a problem with dudes getting married or chicks getting married. I really don't. Don't. I guess. And I differ in that way from a lot of conservatives. I really don't have a big issue with it. I don't care.
I know one of the big contentions in that argument is the word marriage is a very religious word. It's very it's a sacred word, right? Because isn't marriage a sacrament? If I remember my Catholic upbringing,
I'm okay with them using civil union.
That's
You know
what I
mean?
said. But even for like, let's listen. If I'm a man and I'm dating a girl and we want to get married and we decide to take a ride over to the judge to get hitched, that should be a civil union also. It shouldn't be unless you go in a church, then it's a marriage. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Right. So I think that would like listen. These people
isn't
aren't...
there something to it? It's like, yeah, like yes, you go to the church to get married, but you also have to go down to City Hall to get your paper filed, right? So it's like, regardless of whatever the fuck you want to call that ceremony,
right? The ceremony is the marriage. The legal aspect is the civil union, right?
Right. So it's like, oh, we don't do marriage. We don't do the whole church ceremony thing, but we'd like to go somewhere and both stomp on a pumpkin, and then fucking do fine, whatever the fuck you want to do. But everybody still has to go down to City Hall and file your paperwork and get your taxes lied.
But if you didn't,
really, that's if
you didn't do the church aspect, right? And someone says, "Hey, are you married?" You'd be like, "Well, I have a union." That you can just say it like, like, you see what I'm trying to say though? Like, it kind of like takes
somebody should
the religious argument
out
of
the union
it.
And be like, all right, cool. Yeah.
But
there should be a differential and be like, yeah, I'm okay with that. I understand that.
So the reason why I brought up the whole liberal thing is because like, even like one of my books, Lightbringer, that's Iron Liz Scocho. I mean, she's trans. And I'll say she because she's a right-wing, born-again Christian, Trump-supporting conservative. And she'll tell you that she's a biological man. Like, she's literally got gender dysphoria. She's not a fetishist. She's not someone doing it for friggin' weird. She'll tell you keep it away from the kids. She just wants to live her life. She even took herself off social media.
Anthony,
you know what I mean?
I'm totally fine with that. I really am.
Yeah.
I am a hardcore conservative, but I'm fine with that. I'm fine with people like Blair White.
Yeah, Blair White's another one.
They know they have a mental issue. It's neurological. It could be biological. And I have no problem with that. I have no problem with the chick you were talking about. I really have no problem calling her a chick.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But again,
I mean, I know she's not, but like, I'll give her the respect that
I'll call you whatever the fuck you want me to call you. But when you say you scream out, call an ambulance, I've had a miscarriage. I can't go along.
That's a whole different mental disorder, right? That's a whole different mental disorder.
I can't go along with that. I can't go on with dudes on X screaming, "I'm having my period," and they're collapsing on the bed and rolling around on the bed, talking about I'm having menstruating pains. That's nuts.
Well, Scott, you just had too much Taco Bell. Get over it.
So the reason why I bring that up is because
it's some Pepto-Bismol, buddy.
As like, from a devil's advocate stance, EVS has always made the distinction between liberal, and he's always like rubbed it in that like, liberal, whatever, and SJW. And back when Comicsgate started, there were a lot more liberals floating around the scene. Like me, who picked up, like what happened to like, I don't agree with what you say, but I'll defend to the death your right to say it. Where did this cancel culture shit come from? Like, we were like sticking up for our conservative brothers who like, we'd talk and argue politics over a beer and then laugh it off on the way home. You know what I mean? Like, that went away somewhere in 2014, 2015. You know what I mean? And it just slowly got worse.
Anthony,
so what
I want to be totally clear though, really. No, I don't mean to cut you off. I want to be totally clear though. Your liberalism, which I totally accept and actually kind of think is cool, is not Dick Masterson. Is not Vito. You understand? There's a very big difference.
Yeah.
Between your liberalism, your thought process, and everything else. I have liberals on my crew. One of my co-hosts on the weekend is a liberal. He really is. He's a European liberal. And I'm totally fine with it. My other co-host is a liberal. She's totally she's not a Trump fan at all. She hates Joe Biden, but she's not a Trump fan at all. We totally get along. They're like kids to me. They're like brothers and sisters to me. I have no issues with that. But there's a difference between them and you and Vito and Dick. There's a huge difference.
Right.
Big difference.
And so what I say, like to play the devil's advocate. Here's the other thing too, and this always gets me in trouble. Sweeper.
I know. As soon as you said devil's advocate, I was like, damn it, Tony. Go ahead.
Well, because here's the thing, right? I'm of the mind that like I can totally either be angry, disappointed, critical, all three of somebody, and not hate them, and not like want to go to war with them. I'm like that, with my friends. Like my friend's doing something that I don't like and I don't want to be a part of. I'll be like, I'll catch you when you're done with that. Hit me up when you're done with that. And you got guys like this, saying bunch of leftists. No, I'm not a leftist, bro.
He's really not. If you know a real leftist, Anthony is about as far from that shit as you can possibly imagine. Let me just say something real quick, or very quick. Again, I hate to keep interrupting you. For example, TJ, I got a little bit of a problem with TJ. I'm starting to warm up to him, but I have I got a kind of an issue with TJ. I always have. TJ, he's defended me, and I appreciate that, but I still have a bit of an issue with him because TJ is a walking, talking stereotype, and it fucking irritates the fuck out of me. And I know that's the reason why he ends up on a lot of shows and everything else, because he does this coon juice bullshit. And and I can say that coon juice. I can say that bullshit all I want, and if you don't like it, go fuck yourself. Can't take a joke, but that's not. I kind of do like TJ, and I kind of don't like TJ because all my life I have to. Whenever TJ runs his mouth, I cringe because I have to deal with that differently than if Iron is there talking with TJ, or you, Anthony, are talking with TJ, Matt are talking with TJ. You guys don't have the same bullshit that floats onto me because of TJ. I don't know if you know this, but black people have to deal with other black people's bullshit all the fucking time.
I hear you.
TJ talks like an ignorant fucking nigger. It fucking floats onto me,
right,
in the worst possible way. I'm not like that. I'm a goddamn. I've been through a lot of schooling. I'm not gonna say how much, but beyond college, I've made quite a bit of money in my life and all the rest of this kind of stuff. I can obviously articulate and talk and stuff like that, but to do this coon act,
you smell good.
Well, I mean,
articulate and talk good.
It fucks me up. It really fucking does. It fucks me up in a bad fucking way, and I don't know if it is an act or it isn't, but I know it irritates the fuck out of me. That being said, TJ actually is a very smart guy, a very good guy. I'll have to admit it. I think he's wrong about John Malin. John Malin's a lot of things, but he ain't a racist.
Yeah, I know.
Real racists wouldn't talk to you. And I've talked to John Malin several times. I've been on the Jack show, which I will never, ever, ever put that on John Malin. John Malin's no racist. He may be a jerk sometimes, but he's damn sure not a racist. Shane is not a racist. Hell, as much as I hate EVS at this point, he's not a fucking racist, even though he did use the term uppity, which is a kind of a bit of a racist term. I still don't think he is a racist.
But I think he did that on purpose, right? Like, it's like leaning into that's how John got the rep. They all the SJWs back in the day called him a neo-Nazi racist. So he leaned into it with a lot of like racial humor. And then of course you got people over here that say, "Oh, he really is a racist," and it's like, "Oh, come on, guys."
He's not a fucking He tells some off-color jokes, but I do too.
Right,
I do too, and I will never ever put that on John, Shane, or EVS. Hell, EVS one time when Eric was talking played the theme from Stanford and Son, and I laughed harder than anybody. And I always say when Eric was talking, I thought it was fucking hilarious. But my beef with these guys has nothing to do with racial stuff. Actually, I had a beef with TJ that was very, very racial. But right. I don't now. I really don't. I want to make sure if he hears this, he knows that that I have no animosity. Again, the coon
I
juice
got worse
shit.
for that motherfucker when I see him.
I don't think Comicsgate Real World knows what the term leftist means.
Maybe not. Maybe
there's
not.
There's a difference between a liberal, a libertarian, and a leftist. You know what I mean? Like a leftist.
Why are you pointing at me?
Oh well, I'm not okay. I'm not pointing. I'm doing like I'm like doing the end caps. What you call it? So I apologize if it looked like I was pointing. Yeah, there's the leftists all the way over here that do their thing that everybody hates, even liberals and libertarians. And then that's why culturally, left and right, I've taken on a totally different term than like politically. Like you have leftists and then you have everybody else on the right. That's basically how it goes.
Yeah, there's leftists, and then the alt-right consists of libertarians, centrists, classic liberals, people that just want to fucking, have a normal family and be left the fuck alone and have their kids go to school safe. Alt-right.
See, this is like
yeah, they've like forced us.
See, I can relate to what you were saying about shit rubbing off on you there, Mr. Berger, because like I have to deal with people with the word Comicsgate in their name being retarded by using a 5-year-old joke, number one, with the name. And I haven't voted Democrat since 2000 and... Oh, I don't even think I voted for Obama.
I didn't.
Probably 2000. I didn't vote for Obama in 2008. I couldn't vote in 2012 because I was on probation. And then I voted Green Party or Libertarian in 2016, and I voted Republican in 2020. So, yeah.
I've been voting Republican since Bush. So this ain't a new thing to me, but I am a good deal more radical and everything. I'm no Nick Fuentes. I don't go that far.
All right, this is the last time I'm gonna address his retardedness. No, I never had sex with a man.
Yeah, and neither am I gay as fuck, which Nick Fuentes obviously is.
So what they're doing is they're going back to 2018, 2019 when I used to argue with the SJWs and like under Midnight Images and then Dark Eve Comics, and like they'd be like, you're a misogynist, and I'd be like, I'm a woman. Like this is on Twitter, right? Like, like don't try to obfuscate the fucking argument. You're gaslight. You're trying to avoid the points I'm making. Right. You're homophobic. Oh, I'm bi. Oh, you're transphobic. I dated a trans woman. You know what I mean? Like stupid shit like that. Again, me being inexperienced forgets that didn't realize the internet's forever, and people go, look what he said, and I'm like, yeah, but I said it in a thread full of other comic skaters who then like were joking around me, going like, you probably should not, use that that tactic because it could stick with you. And here we go, 5 years later, and it's like Tranthony. It's like first of all, 10 years ago, there was somebody else, Anthony, somebody else who was like tagged with that name. It's like you can't even come up with something original,
Anthony, you know what? You got to be like me, brother. I claim everything I fucking claim. I'm proud. Everything I've said, everything I've done, I'm fucking proud of it. I don't give a shit hanging on me and everything else. And if I need to apologize for something, I'll apologize for something. If not, I'll tell you to go get fucked running. But for the most part, I stand by what I said. And if I feel like explaining it, I'll explain it. I am right leaning.
Yeah.
Hard.
I got enough stuff. You don't need to like make up shit that I'm saying.
I know, right? Well, it's like, first of all, she's a trans writer, not even an artist. Pay attention.
Trans writer.
Secondly, she's probably more based than you retard. Again, I just said I haven't voted Democrat since 2000 when I voted. Who was oh, no, I didn't even vote for Al Gore. So last time I voted Democrat was probably Bill fucking Clinton. That was probably the last time I voted a Democrat. Yeah.
There you go. So, like I said, folks, we all have our peccadillos politically.
And I just said I was an OG 90s liberal. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, he acting like, oh, voted Dem is like a fucking insult. No, it's not.
Anthony, this is coming from a hardcore right-winger. I accept you. I'm all about people having different political opinions, and you're my boy and shall always be. I wouldn't be hanging around with you, talking with you, or supporting you.
No,
if
I appreciate that.
I thought any different.
Yeah.
But my thing is, again, I got my issues. Hell, you're hanging around with a guy who is full on America. I'm America over everything, and people are like, you shouldn't be that way, but I am. So what? Deal with it.
No, I'm the same way. I've got like 3 Italian. Oh my God, we were talking about Italy earlier tonight.
Hey.
I've got 3 American flags, 2 actual full-size American flags, and 1 banner hanging outside right now, and then a star above, like, in the steeple of the house. Mm-hmm. Big, huge red, white, and blue star. Like a couple of small flags going up the walkway. Like, back in the day, whether you were Democrat or Republican, everybody was patriotic. Like, I don't know when that went away. When did that go away? That's why I don't agree with anything on the left anymore, except for like certain little social cues.
Thank God you're normal with it. I get
that's my next flag.
I get a little bit zealous towards it because I've been I was out of the country for damn near 15 years, and I've seen how the other part of the world. You want to love America? Leave the country for a while. Go other places and see other things. You come back here and you learn to appreciate what you got.
America is so fucking dope.
Matter of fact, I paid for this country with some bullets and an amputation. So I've earned my family's place here, and yet I am totally in love with a Russian. Matter of fact, this will be the second Russian I marry. I've married a Russian in Russia, and I'm about to marry another one as soon as this fucking dumbass war gets concluded.
And Lee Harvey over here.
But you want to know how I got to like this like fence sitter center kind of mentality? The household, Italian and Irish. My one grandmother was Protestant. My grandmother was Protestant. My grandfather was Catholic. My grandmother was Republican. My grandfather was Democrat. My grandmother, they would argue over who was the better Rat Pack singer. She loved Dean Martin. He loved Frank Sinatra. Like, it was literally like, and I just grew up watching both sides of the argument. You know what I mean? Like, every argument that you could possibly think of in the household like that, I witnessed it, And, yeah, but anyway, back to comics. I brought up the liberal aspect because he's always made that distinction. He's always been cool with me, and
I understand.
Be that way. Here's the thing: I voiced all of my complaints about everything that's been going on, and like I said, I can be critical and I can not like some and not hate the guy. I mean, other people might have personal reasons to hate him, and it is what it is, and that's not my problem. My issue is, I don't like, Comicsgate was like, if you think of it as like a cruise, right? There was a charted course. We were starting in Florida and we were going to head to the Bahamas, and then from the Bahamas we were going to go to Jamaica. You know what I mean? Like, there was like, and somewhere along the line, the cruise ship decided, we're going to go to Cuba. And I'm like, I don't want to go to Cuba. I'm going to go to the Virgin Islands. Like, that's the next stop. The next stop was the Virgin Islands. I'm going to the Virgin Islands. And that's kind of where I stand with it. And the one area of this whole community that used to be like a little safe haven kind of fell under attack for not getting mixed up in it. And just recently, I was accused of running away with my tail between my legs, when everybody forgets that other than Matt, I was the only other one out there taking the fucking hits and fucking fighting with everybody back in February and March and even into early April. Everybody else, everybody, even when Matt got sick, people were like, "Did DG take Matt's spot? Why is he fighting with everybody on the internet?" Like, there was like, and then like, then when the it seems like when the coast was clear, everybody else picked up their guns and started to go fight, and it was like, well, you know what? At this point, I'm tired, man. I'm done.
Dude, we were just stacking bodies, dude. Just, I mean, it wasn't hard when you had. I mean, not to sound silly, but it wasn't hard when you had God on your side. You know what I mean? Like, who am I fucking dealing with? I'm dealing with these crazy, evil degenerates. I'm dealing with like. Piss porn and people sexually exploiting fucking autistic people. It was just like, how are you like defending pedo jokes? I just don't. How are you defending this? So anybody who would step up to me, it was just like, I have no problem with fucking crushing you. You're fucking
why do people think I'm simping for Katie? I don't even talk about Katie.
And I can contest that. I've never seen you talk about Katie, and I watch pretty much every one of your streams. To bring this point to a close, because we got to wrap it up here. I want to reiterate why Matt brought up the point. You have problems with people, and people have problems with you, and so forth and so on. But people should be able to do this, that, and the other thing. I want to point this out. Not Matt. Excuse me. Anthony's right. You absolutely do. But for me, and this is just for me. It's just for me. I understand Anthony's point and I appreciate it, but for me, this shit is too far.
I feel bad about myself for being attracted to younger women, but I'm not attracted to their fucking brains. I'm attracted to the fact that they haven't had a chance to ruin their fucking bodies yet. I just want a 35-year-old brain and a 15-year-old
This isn't
body.
funny.
Yeah, I'm not like
maybe 16. I think it would be 14 at first, and then it would move.
I'm not gonna have somebody like EVS, Vito, or Dick moralize to me, or basically anybody else. And I'm not really speaking for anybody else. I'm just taking it upon myself. Moralize to me that I'm somehow not great or not cool, or I should be accepting, when Vito thinks that guy that just spoke, that just said that, is awesome. That guy that just spoke and just said that is being persecuted. That guy who just spoke is somehow misunderstood, and that guy who just spoke is making a joke. You don't get to moralize about anything if you think that. You don't get to do that. And Vito does. That's who Vito likes. That's who Vito respects. That's who Vito worships. And by extension, when EVS has Vito on his show, that's tacit acceptance of that guy. I don't care about any other way you put it, any other way you say it. You are engaging with that motherfucker on some level, and that ain't right. It ain't right. There's some things in this world that ain't it ain't about money. It ain't about clout. It ain't about what you call. When you stand up for a motherfucker that says that shit, we're done. We're done. Everybody needs to know that. You don't need to go on anybody's show hawking your stupid, degenerate, disgusting, ugly, shitty book. Nobody needs to do business with you. They can, it's their choice, but nobody needs to platform somebody who thinks this again.
Once the novelty wore off, I think it would be 15 or 16.
Is this consideration in line with your desire to empathize with pedophiles, or is it something more personal than that?
That's okay. Empathy for pedophiles. That's not right. I don't care about the money. I don't care about the clout. I don't care about the views. You don't platform somebody who likes that, who's okay with that. What the fuck is wrong with you, universe? I'm not talking about anybody in particular. The fuck is wrong with you? You shouldn't sit in a room with somebody like that. You shouldn't be in proximity with somebody like that. And more importantly, you shouldn't do that with somebody who sympathizes with somebody who says that stuff. Everybody needs to think about that. Everybody. Why are you so mad, Mr. Berger? Because You're not mad enough. That's not the question. Why am I so mad? Why the fuck aren't you mad? Is this what society is now? This is what this country is now? The greatest nation on earth? Do we allow this type of bullshit to go on and nobody says anything? EVS is cool with it. Delarose is cool with it. Man, fuck that shit. You got the wrong nigga if you think I'm going along with it for any reason. And that, my dear friends, is where I will end this discussion. Unless anybody else has anything to say, please say it now. And we'll
or forever hold your peace.
I think you nailed it, dog.
So,
oh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
Oh, those fucking lips.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to ever see that again. And I mean, we didn't even get into Digibro. There, it goes on. It goes
no. We're saving that for because I got
day.
Well, I got to finish collecting. I literally have fucking 20 plus videos. I technically have as many videos on Digibro as I do Veto. Probably maybe a couple more. Because
blame Ethan for even knowing who these people are.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, and again, you can thank EVS for a lot of people finding out who these people are because he brought them into Comicsgate. Comicsgate is forever and now associated with Dick Masterson and Vito, who are associated with this. This is their brand. So if you're in Comicsgate, unfortunately, this is part of your brand. And that sucks because there are some great fucking art. There are some great books that are not going to be bought or looked at because of this. This is the marketing. Is this good advertisement? I'm a comic book collector. I buy.
It is a turd in the Comicsgate pool for sure.
Come on over to the Iron Age, folks. Come on over.
What's to one person in between? I'm not going to name his name, but he said that certain people, with bad art, bad writing, and overpriced books are so detrimental to the indie comic scene. They're hurting all of us. Is it really? Is that what's hurting you? Some shit book? Then do like Matt did. Call out the bad art and see what happens. Maybe it'll get better. Maybe it won't. Who cares?
What's bad for indie scene is not putting out your books. What's bad is for the indie scene is like just creating campaigns and then not pushing them out.
Yeah, I'm here to fight the culture war, have fun, entertain people, promote, and make books.
Yep,
and that's it.
And that's what it should be about.
All right, gentlemen. And on that note, we will wrap it up. I really appreciate you, Anthony. God, I really do, man. You've been very supportive of me, and I will be honestly supporting you. On the 3rd, I'm gonna buy your book. Is it the 3rd yet? No, I'm on the 3rd. I'm gonna buy your book. I get paid on the 3rd, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick up your book. The second that Matt Barr's book comes out, I'm buying it. Iron Oxide. I'm going to keep pushing until I get your channel, until you are equal to Ballers and surpass the Jack Show, because it ain't what it used to be, and there needs to be a significantly cooler and better replacement. I am a bigger cheerleader for Iron Oxide's channel than I am for my fucking own. And Hobo, I am so glad. I'm so glad you're here. You support me on X, and I support you. Thank you so much, Hobo, for showing up, man. I really do appreciate it.
No problem, dude.
All of you guys, all of the Burger Bunch that's out in the audience, all of the Iron Oxiders are out in the audience. Everybody who's fans of these guys, thank you for coming in.
I really do
appreciate it. All the hobos out in there, the train riders. And
the slummers,
the sleepers,
uppity boys.
Especially the uppity boys. You are appreciated, and I love each one of you. But in closing, I will say, I'll just close it out. Love, peace. Shit. Hold on. Let me get on to the I gotta get out to the thing here. I got to close it out. Where am I going to close this out? I just close out Mr. Burger Radio. Thank you guys for watching. Thank everybody. Subscribe and like Iron Oxide. Subscribe and like Mr. Burger Saves the World. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe before you go. Leave a comment. Like and subscribe before you go. And as we say on the main channel, love, peace, and chicken grease. I'm out.